Hey guys, it's Wednesday, May the 6th. Got a little review for you today. Make sure you send in your quick checks for chapter 18. If you were on the live Zoom yesterday, or if you listened to it online off YouTube as a recording, I referred to an assignment I made last week on page 427, questions 1 to 12. I had take that assignment off. Okay, so that was due yesterday. I didn't make it a due, but if you turn that in and want to count as quick checks, and you haven't turned your quick checks in, but you turn to the other page 427, you can send me an email and say, hey, can I count my questions page 427 for the quick checks? If you already send them both, that's fine. You just send them both. I'll check your quick checks. That's a quiz grade. This means you didn't listen to the video class yesterday or went on the live Zoom and did your work beforehand. Make sure you're checking the video lessons. Okay, so today I got a review, your quick checks, chapter 18. You're working on your Quizlet flashcards today and tomorrow. Okay, so Quizlet, make sure, let me see, go to this. Make sure you're on, I think I got about half of you on the Quizlet so far. Make sure you're on the anatomy class, okay, when you add them, so I can go and find you and then pull up your sets. I can look at it. Excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, so that's, if you have a question with that, I send out a link. I sent out another one, I think it was on Monday, just to update the link so you make sure you get to the right class. Okay, so most of you are finding it. So if your question, they'll email me. That's due. You work on that today and tomorrow. Okay, that's what I'm using for your review. I'm not sending you a review. That's your review. I'm going to go over the review today on the notes, and you take the notes and make flashcards questions. Okay, and I'm going to put together a test today and tomorrow, and I'll look at those questions and I'll go through and use some of the questions that might be the better ones. Okay, and it'll come straight from the notes. Okay. All right, so make sure you're doing that. Make sure you know we have a test on Friday. It's a Google form document. I'll send it to you Friday morning. You need to take it during the morning when you get it and submit it. Don't wait. Okay, so do that, please. Okay. All right, let's look at. I'm going to go back through these. I'm going to go real quick through these notes we took this week, so make sure you have everything. Okay. So in the urinary system. So let me go through this pretty fast. Okay. Organs of the urinary system: the kidneys, the ureter tubes, the bladder, and the urethra. Remember, there's 2 kidneys, 2 ureter tubes. Okay, uremia is the toxin buildup in the blood from the waste products. The kidneys play a role in maintaining electrolytes, which is like sodium, potassium. That's the balance there, water, and also the acid-base balance in the body. All right, so this is an overview of the kidney. Remember, you have a diagram on the kidney that I gave you and a diagram on the urinary system. I'll have some questions on the test from those diagrams from your textbook, page 223 and 224, and also in your from your workbook, page 223, 224, and also at the beginning of the chapter in the text. Okay, so remember, kidney blood flows into the renal vein, into the renal artery, into the kidneys. And then blood flows out of the renal vein, and all the waste is taken out, excess water and toxic waste taken out into the ureter tubes, goes into the urine, turns into urine. Okay, so you need to know this. Okay, so should have that. All right, here's an overview of the urinary system. Remember, the adrenal glands sit right on top of the kidneys. Okay, this cross section of the kidney with it's cut open. Okay, the arteries are red, the veins are blue. Arteries are rich in oxygen. So the blue vein is blood flowing back that's deoxygenated, lacks oxygen, it goes back to the inferior vena cava. Okay, and then the blood flowing to the kidneys comes from the aorta, out of the heart. Okay, so this is what looks like. Here's your ureter tubes, kidney. So this blood flows back and forth from the heart, and then the urinary in and out of the kidneys on both sides, and then urine goes through the ureter tube to the bladder. Okay, so anyway, how the kidney works, we talk about it's just a filtering center. Okay, so you have these nephrons with special blood vessels. They're called glomerulus. It works like a strainer, keep blood cells and needed substance in while letting extra fluid and waste out. So you should not have blood flowing into your urine. That's a good problem. It could be an infection or something. Okay. So drop by drop, urine is produced and travels to the bladder through this tube. Okay. All right. Need to know the parts of the kidney. Again, it goes to the diagram we were talking about earlier, and you look at that diagram that we talked about in class. It's in your workbook. All right. All right, this was the parts of the diagram from page 224. This is the kidney diagram. And then page 223, text page 410, this is the urinary system diagram. All right, location of the kidneys. We talked about that. Internal structure. Cortex is the outer part of the kidney. Medulla is the inner portion. The pyramids are the triangle divisions of the medulla. Okay, the papilla is the narrow innermost end of the pyramid. The pelvis is the expansion upper end of the ureter, where the tube drains out the urine into the bladder. So that's where it's filtering out into the pelvis and goes into the ureter tube. Calyx is a division of the renal pelvis. Okay, so you should be able to see all those on the diagram. Where they're located. Okay, the microscopic structures. Again, we talked about nephrons with the cell units in the kidney. Function of the kidneys, the main formation of urine. The main thing, urine is essential for homeostasis, which is balance and maintenance of life. Kidneys form urine by three processes: filtration, reabsorption, secretion. Okay, so we talked about each of those. Okay, so filtration is by like the blood pressure. And the reabsorption and secretion. Secretion is just working the opposite, reabsorption in reverse. Okay, so you need to know filtration, reabsorption, secretion. Probably need to ask all this that I'm going over should be things that you should be able to put on your flashcards. Okay, you'll see questions on the test. Okay, remember when glucose remains behind in the urine, that's a sign of diabetes. That's called glycosuria. Glucose in the urine. All right, characteristics of urine: transparent. It's either yellow, amber, or straw colored, but you should be able to see transparent. If it's cloudy, it's abnormal. It could be a urinary infection or something else, so it's abnormal. And compounds, the mineral ions, sodium, chlorine, and potassium are very important. These are in your urine. Nitrogenous waste in the urine, it's like creatine, ammonia, uric acid. These are the waste products. Abnormal, if bile or glucose is in the urine, that'd be abnormal. Okay, so those don't get into the urine, something's a problem. Except glucose in the urine could be a sign of diabetes, could be something else, but it's usually that. All right, pH level of urine is usually somewhere neutral, 4.6 to 8.0. All right, this is what shows you the pictures. Appears lighter color, hydrated. I think it's darker, that's dehydration. Okay, lack of water, liquids. We talked about the different colors. Okay. All right. Abnormal urine amount and urea is absent urine, oliguria, scant amount of urine, polyuria is usually large amounts of urine. Okay, ureters are the tubes that lead to the bladder. The bladder is the basin that stores urine for elimination. The urethra is what controls that flow of urine. Okay, urethra, lowest part of the urinary tract. Okay, controls the flow of urine. Okay, so when urine leaves the bladder, the urethra is what does that. All right, so you should have those. Okay, catheterization, the medical procedure. Kidney stones, hard mass built up like crystals. We talked about those in depth. I showed you a video. Lithotropitor is an ultrasound generator used to pulverize and break up kidney stones without making incisions. This is on page 419 in your book, so know what a lithotropitor is. Okay. Study the diagrams again on page 223 and 224 in your workbook. Extra credit, read page 441. There's a green box, fighting infections. It's very short, few paragraphs. I have a question about that. Remember, we did this kidney stone quiz. Okay. You know a little bit about kidney stones. You'll see some questions on there pertaining to those. Yeah, there's a couple more here, we see. All right. Then these questions came from this overview that I went over with you about kidney stones. We also watched a video, so hopefully you saw that video. If not, go back. I think it was on Monday. All right. Hopefully you got that. And if you have a question or anything, please feel free to send me a note or email. Remember, you're working on your Quizlet review flashcards. The questions on the flashcards should come from what I just showed you. Okay, so please make sure you do that. It's a quiz grade. All right. I'll talk to you later.